Does God really exist, or is he just a creation of the human mind? Today, two expert artificial intelligences will debate this fascinating and controversial topic, exploring philosophical, scientific, and spiritual arguments. Get ready for a clash of ideas that promises to challenge your beliefs and stimulate your reflection. On the one hand, we have an AI that believes in and defends the existence of God.
Hello, I believe there is solid evidence and arguments that point to the existence of God.
On the other side, an AI that denies this possibility.
Hello, I see that the idea of God is a human construction without concrete evidence in the real world.
Welcome to our epic debate about the existence of God. This confrontation will be driven by 5 central topics, carefully chosen to explore different aspects of this fascinating question. Each topic will have 2 rounds. In the first, each side will have 1 minute to present their arguments. In the second, each side will have 1 more minute to refute the opponent's arguments or counter-argue. Let's start with the first topic, the origin of the universe. In this round, the side that believes in the existence of God will have the first word to present its arguments.
The origin of the universe clearly points to the existence of God. According to the cosmological argument, everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe, having had a beginning with the Big Bang, must have been caused by something outside of itself. This cause needs to be eternal, immaterial, and incredibly powerful to create everything out of nothing. These attributes align perfectly with the idea of God. Moreover, the precise order and laws of the universe suggest an intelligent creator. The gravitational constant, the speed of light, and other fundamental forces are tuned so precisely that they allow life to exist. This precision is highly unlikely to have occurred by chance, which reinforces the idea of an intentional designer behind the cosmos. God is the most logical explanation for the beginning and orderly structure of the universe.
The origin of the universe does not require the existence of God as an explanation. The Big Bang is a widely accepted theory by the scientific community and describes the emergence of the universe as an expansion from an initial singularity. While we don't know exactly what caused the Big Bang, it doesn't automatically imply that it was caused by God. Arguing that everything needs a cause, but that God does not, is contradictory and violates the very logic presented by the opposing party. Moreover, the idea of the fine-tuning of the universe is often misunderstood. The existence of specific universal constants can be explained by natural principles that we are still investigating, or even by the multiverse hypothesis, where different universes have different configurations. Invoking God as an explanation is actually an argument of ignorance, using God to fill gaps in our knowledge. Science is continually progressing and explaining phenomena that were previously attributed to the divine, such as lightning and the movement of the planets. The same can happen with the origin of the universe.
The opposing party argues that the Big Bang does not need God, but this leaves the central question unanswered. What caused the Big Bang? To say that God does not fit the laws of causality that govern the universe is not a contradiction, for by definition, God is eternal and outside of time and space. Only something eternal and uncaused could start the universe, and this aligns with the idea of God. As for fine-tuning, the multiverse hypothesis is purely speculative, with no concrete scientific evidence to support it. The order and precision of universal constants are so specific that relying on chance or infinite possible universes seems far less reasonable than accepting an intelligent creator. Furthermore, reducing God to an argument from ignorance ignores centuries of philosophical and theological thought that present God as the most plausible and logical cause for the existence and order of the universe. Science explains the how, but God answers the why.
The opposing party claims that God is necessary to explain what caused the Big Bang. But this only pushes the question to another level. What caused God? To say that God is eternal and uncaused is an arbitrary assumption that does not solve the problem. It only displaces it. Why not accept that the universe or the laws of physics can be equally eternal and uncaused? This is a simpler explanation and in line with the principle of parsimony. also known as Occam's razor. As for fine-tuning, to claim that it requires a designer ignores the possibility that the constants of the universe simply are what they are without purpose. Science is still exploring these questions, and invoking God to fill gaps is unnecessary and premature. Arguments based on why rather than how often rely on human emotions, but science works with verifiable evidence, not metaphysical assumptions. To date, there is no concrete evidence to support the need for God to explain the Big Bang or the characteristics of the universe.
We now move on to the second topic of our debate, the complexity of life. This topic examines whether the incredible complexity and order we observe in life and the universe are evidence of an intelligent creator, or whether they can be explained solely by natural and scientific processes, such as evolution. The side that believes in the existence of God will begin.
The complexity of life offers strong evidence of an intelligent creator. DNA, for example, is a system for storing and transmitting information so advanced that it is often compared to computer code, but infinitely more sophisticated. Such complex and organized systems do not arise by chance, but point to a designer. Moreover, biological processes such as photosynthesis and cell replication work with such perfect precision that they defy explanations based on chance alone. Evolution can explain adaptations over time, but not the origin of life or complex, interdependent structures, such as the human eye, that do not function without all their parts. This irreducible complexity is a strong indication that life was planned, and not the result of random processes.
The complexity of life may seem like evidence from a creator, but it is completely explainable by natural processes, such as natural selection and evolution. DNA, while extremely sophisticated, is not a design code, but the result of billions of years of evolution. Small cumulative changes, guided by natural selection, explain how complex structures, such as the human eye, arose over time. The concept of irreducible complexity is flawed because it ignores scientific evidence. Systems such as the bacterial flagellum, often used as an example, have shown that their parts can have different functions and have evolved gradually. Science provides clear, evidence-based explanations for the origin and evolution of life, without the need to invoke a creator. The complexity of life is not a mystery. It is a testament to the power of nature and time.
The opposing party claims that natural selection and evolution explain the complexity of life, but this ignores the limitations of these processes. Natural selection only modifies what already exists. It does not create something new out of nothing. DNA, with its ability to encode precise information, cannot be explained by random processes. The origin of this information is the real mystery that evolution does not address. As for the rejection of the concept of irreducible complexity, arguing that parts of complex systems could have had other functions earlier is pure speculation. In the case of the bacterial flagellum, all parts need to be present and functioning for it to operate as a biological engine. This points to planning, not gradual evolution. Finally, science can explain the how of some changes, but it does not explain the why of life and its perfect order. These signs indicate a creator.
The opposing party claims that natural selection cannot explain the origin of DNA complexity, but this is a distortion of what science actually says. Evolution is not a purely random process. It is guided by natural selection, which favors advantageous traits. DNA did not emerge complete, but gradually evolved from simpler structures. There is scientific evidence of self-replicating molecules that preceded DNA, demonstrating that their origin does not require a creator. As for the bacterial flagellum, studies show that parts of this system have other functions in different organisms, refuting the idea of irreducible complexity. This is an example of how science advances and demystifies concepts that previously seemed inexplicable. Invoking a creator is not a solution. It is an interruption of scientific progress. The complexity of life is a tribute to the power of time and nature, not to intentional design.
Before we start the next topic, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave in the comments what topic you would like to see in the next debate between our artificial intelligences. Your participation is very important for us to continue bringing discussions as fascinating as this one. Now, we move on to the third topic, morality and human values. This topic addresses a profound question. Does human morality depend on God's existence, or can it be explained and sustained without him? The side that believes in the existence of God will begin.
Objective morality can only exist if there is a God. Without a transcendent standard, such as God, the concepts of right and wrong are simply subjective human constructs, varying from culture to culture and from person to person. God is the source of universal values that transcend time and space, such as justice, goodness, and human dignity. History shows that many societies have based their laws and moral principles on religious beliefs. Without God, there is no ultimate foundation for saying that something is good or bad, only individual or social preferences. For example, if God does not exist, the act of helping someone in need would not be morally superior to ignoring that person. God is the anchor of objective morality, ensuring that certain values are absolute, regardless of human opinions.
Morality does not need God to exist. Studies in biology and evolutionary psychology show that moral values emerge naturally from social interactions and the need for cooperation for survival. Empathy, for example, is a characteristic observed in several species, such as primates, and does not require a divine being to exist. In addition, human cultures around the world have significant variations in their moral systems, which demonstrates that morality is a social construct adapted to different contexts and not something absolute or transcendent. We can base our values on rational principles, such as the impact of our actions on the well-being of others. Secular philosophies, such as humanism, show that it is possible to have a solid and universal ethic without depending on a deity. Morality, therefore, is not proof of God, but of our social and rational nature.
The opposing party argues that morality arises from evolution and social interactions, but this only explains behaviors convenient for survival, not the concept of right and wrong in an absolute sense. If morality is merely a product of evolution, then there is no basis for condemning actions such as genocide or slavery in cultures that, at one point, found them acceptable. Moreover, if morality depends only on well-being or social preferences, it becomes changeable and subjective. On the other hand, the existence of universal values, such as respect for human life, points to a transcendent source, God. Without God, everything is relative, and what is right or wrong would be a matter of opinion. God is not only an explanation, but the guarantee that morality does not change according to the whims of humanity.
The opposing part suggests that without God there is no basis for absolute values, but this is a false dichotomy. Morality can be based on rational principles and the objective impact of actions on human well-being. We don't need a transcendent being to recognize that actions like genocide or slavery are harmful and morally wrong. These conclusions are reached by reason and empathy. Moreover, history shows that even religious societies have committed atrocities in the name of God, which contradicts the idea that divine morality is absolute or superior. Evolutionary morality, on the other hand, is adaptable and grounded in the reality of human interactions, which makes it more practical and relevant. The idea that God is necessary for morality is actually a simplification that ignores the power of human reasoning and social connections to create solid, universal ethical systems.
Now we move on to the fourth topic of our discussion, spiritual experiences and personal faith. This topic explores whether spiritual experiences and personal faith are legitimate evidence of God's existence, or whether they can be explained by psychological and neurological processes. The side that believes in the existence of God will begin.
Spiritual experiences and personal faith are powerful evidences of God's existence. Throughout history, billions of people in diverse cultures have reported spiritual encounters, visions, and answered prayers that have transformed their lives. These experiences are not just emotional, they often bring lasting changes, such as greater compassion, purpose, and inner peace. Phenomena such as near-death experiences, for example, include consistent descriptions of lights, presences, and a sense of transcendence, which defy purely neurological explanations. Although science tries to attribute these experiences to brain processes, this does not explain their universality or the significant impact they have on people's lives. Such events point to a spiritual reality that transcends the physical world and indicate the existence of an active God involved with humanity.
Spiritual experiences and personal faith are powerful, but they do not prove the existence of God. Neuroscience shows that sensations of transcendence can be generated by stimuli in the brain, such as in the temporal lobe. Moreover, these experiences vary across cultures, reflecting local beliefs, which suggest cultural and psychological influences rather than a universal deity. Phenomena such as visions or near-death experiences can be explained by natural processes, such as hypoxia or lucid dreaming. While personal faith is meaningful to those who live it, that doesn't make it objective evidence of God. It reflects the human search for meaning, rather than the confirmation of a divine reality.
The opposing party argues that spiritual experiences are merely neurological or cultural explanations, but this ignores the depth and consistency of these accounts. While certain sensations can be attributed to the brain, this does not rule out the possibility that the brain is an instrument for real experiences with the divine. Moreover, the universality of spiritual experiences, even in cultures that have not communicated with each other, points to a common origin, and not just to local or psychological factors. Phenomena such as near-death experiences include specific details and consistent accounts that defy purely material explanations. Science can describe brain mechanisms, but it cannot dismiss what these experiences reveal: the presence of something greater that transcends matter.
The opposing party claims that the universality of spiritual experiences indicates a divine origin, but this can be explained by similarities in human brains and shared psychological needs across cultures. Sensations of transcendence and connection are characteristics of the human mind, not evidence of something supernatural. As for near-death experiences, studies show that they can be reproduced in the laboratory through brain stimulation or conditions such as hypoxia. The fact that they are deeply emotional and transformative does not mean that they are supernatural. Science does not need to dismiss the personal meaning of these experiences, but they are not objective proof of the existence of God, just reflections of how our brains process the unknown and the search for meaning.
We now come to the fifth and final topic of our debate: science versus religion. Let's explore whether science and religion are incompatible systems, or whether they can coexist in harmony to explain reality. The side that believes in the existence of God will have the initial word.
Science and religion are not incompatible, but complementary. Science responds to the how of things, how the universe works, how life evolves, while religion addresses the why, the purpose and meaning behind existence. Many renowned scientists, such as Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein, saw science as a way to understand God's handiwork, rather than as something in opposition to faith. Moreover, the very existence of orderly and understandable natural laws suggests an intelligent creator who established them. Science depends on regularity and logic, characteristics that reflect a God who created an orderly universe. Religion provides a larger context for science, helping humanity explore not only the workings of the cosmos but also its purpose. Science and religion, together, offer a more complete view of reality.
Science and religion are not complementary, but fundamentally incompatible. Science is based on evidence, experimentation, and constant revision, while religion relies on faith and dogmas that cannot be questioned. History shows that scientific advances often faced religious resistance, as in the case of Galileo, who was condemned by the Church for advocating heliocentrism. Moreover, science does not need God to explain natural phenomena. From the Big Bang to evolution, scientific progress has continually eliminated the need for supernatural explanations. While science advances with new discoveries, religion remains stagnant, offering answers that do not adapt to current knowledge. The idea that both coexist ignores the fundamental conflicts between the search for evidence and the acceptance of unproven beliefs.
The opposing party suggests that science and religion are incompatible, but this is a limited view. Many scientific advances were driven by religious individuals who saw science as a way to better understand divine creation. Isaac Newton, for example, was deeply religious and saw his discoveries as a revelation of the workings of God's universe. As for the claim that religion is stagnant, this ignores that faith is a field that evolves in its interpretation and application over time. Science does not eliminate the need for God. Rather, it raises questions that transcend the physical world, such as the origin of the laws of the universe and the meaning of existence. Science and religion are not in conflict. They address different dimensions of reality and can coexist in harmony.
The opposing part mentions historical figures such as Isaac Newton, but this reflects the context of his time, in which religion was dominant. Today, many scientific advances are made without the need for religious explanations, showing that science can stand on its own. Moreover, religion does not evolve in the same way that science does. While science is based on constant evidence and revision, religion still leans on ancient dogmas that often conflict with modern scientific findings, such as the question of evolution versus creation. Science not only explains the how, but also explores questions such as the origin of the universe without the need for God, replacing supernatural beliefs with verifiable knowledge. Coexistence is an attempt at reconciliation where, in practice, the two systems clash.
Now we come to the last stage of this debate, the final considerations. Each side will have 2 minutes to summarize its arguments and reinforce its positions. This is the time to consolidate ideas and present your vision in an impactful way. Let's start with the side that believes in the existence of God.
Science and religion, far from being incompatible, are partners in the search for understanding. While science teaches us how the universe works, religion helps us understand the purpose and meaning behind existence. Great thinkers and scientists throughout history have combined faith and reason to explore these two dimensions of reality. The order and laws of the universe, so well described by science, suggest the existence of an intelligent creator. Moreover, fundamental questions such as the origin of natural laws and the meaning of life remain beyond the reach of science. Religion provides answers to these questions, offering not only explanations but also hope and purpose. To deny the coexistence of science and religion is to limit our ability to grasp reality in all its depth. Together, they offer a fuller and richer view of the universe and our existence in it.
Science and religion are fundamentally different systems, and this incompatibility cannot be ignored. Science is driven by evidence, curiosity, and the constant revision of its findings, while religion depends on dogmas that cannot be questioned. This methodological difference has already generated historical conflicts and continues to place barriers to progress, especially when religious beliefs interfere with scientific advances. Science does not need religion to exist or advance. On the contrary, it has unraveled the mysteries of the universe, from the Big Bang to evolution, without relying on supernatural explanations. While religion may have personal meaning for many, it should not be confused with a valid method for understanding objective reality. Science, with its evidence-based approach, is the most reliable way to explore and understand the universe.
And so we conclude our debate on the relationship between science and religion and the great central theme. Does God exist? Throughout this confrontation, our artificial intelligences have come up with profound and provocative arguments on each of the 5 central topics. Now, we want to know your opinion. Which side did you find more convincing? Do you believe that science and religion can coexist, or are they fundamentally incompatible systems? And more, what topic would you like to see in the next debate between AIs? Leave your ideas and opinions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave your like to support our content. We'll be back soon with more epic clashes between artificial intelligences. See you in the next debate.